all doing. If you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. So we got nothing but board games today. So we have 2 for parts. You are well aware of these. And a rare game I picked up to sell as is. Trekking the World. So we'll start with the parts ones. Alright, so the games we always buy for parts, if they're under $3, are Monopoly, Clue, Life, and Sorry. Because I can sell the parts on each one, and you get 2 sets or more. One will pay for the item, and one will be profit. Now, of course, you're taking into account maybe it's not complete, but that is the risk we take. We can generally at least break even, and then I keep some stuff in case I'm to lose something. For instance, we got these pawns. I have an extra purple. Purple were the one I was missing, I'd be okay. Not today, though. We got them all. So Clue, we sell the cards, and we sell the weapons and the pawns. Generally, I do the cards and pawns as one, and the weapons solo. So we have that envelope. We need 9 room cards, 6 weapons, 6 people. Like I've done this before. 6, 6, 9. So cards are complete. Tokens are all there. Let's check our money. Camp MHT. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's one of my customers that I deal with. I do summer camp stuff. Miserable, quite frankly. Oh, we have all 6 of our weapons. That's perfect pickup. At no point would I ever sell this as a game. Because there's too many of them out there. This is actually in very good condition. Yeah, I just don't want to. Yeah, so we're gonna get $3 for our weapons. Those always sell. The cards and pawns kind of hang out, but we will get something for them. I may change that to a $7 listing if I have too many. I'll make a decision when I look at it, but we're gonna be there. 6 spent on this round of 3, $5, so we're almost at break even. Now let's look at Monopoly. If I could change my profit on that, I had that set as a set listed for 9, and it hadn't generated any views or watchers, so I just changed it to quantity 2, lowered it to 8, just for ease of not having so many listings. I try to do duplicates of things if I can, and I can monitor how those are going. Either way, I got that one for $1, so this one I got for $2. So here and now, there's a few different sets. Completely different year over year. Unlike main Monopoly that just gets reproduced constantly and it's basically the same. This, all the pieces change. They change color. The money's different. So we got like a golden baseball glove in this one. Hopefully I have other stuff that goes with this. The box is startlingly empty, so we'll see. We got a golden baseball glove at any rate. Let me move the camera here. There we go. How are we looking at? Oh, that. Okay. We have like a poker chip. I don't understand that. They did poker chips this year for some reason. Like I said, they're very different every year. So we got our money, which is the modern money, where the 50 is purple. I'll sort that in a bit. Got another token here, like a cowboy hat. These plastic holder things. I have no idea what these are for. Like Plinko or poker chips. I think I'm missing a substantial amount of this game because there's way too much empty space in here. Like, there's not even any property cards, I don't think. There's Chance Community Chest. Unless they piled everything under this divider, which is possible. We have, like, different dice. Doubtful that'll be valuable. So I have only 2 tokens. All these chips. So this game wasn't even playable the way they dropped it off, which would be obnoxious if I wasn't buying these for parts. So this is the 2015. They're going to look that up itself. It said they're all different every year. See what we can do. Absolute worst case scenario, I have some money, but at a point they got rid of 1s, 5s, and 10s, and you end up with like a lot of this. So I end up putting it aside in case I have to fill out a different set. I can add enough of that where it looks okay. But let's see what we can find for Monopoly. Here now, 2015. What are we missing? We got the game. Somebody's selling the special dice. Oh, they only had 4 tokens this year. That's kind of odd. So I got a glove and I got a cowboy. Sometimes individual tokens are valuable, so we have 416 listings here. Sometimes not. We have these passport tokens. We got money and cards. We got like everything for $9. Dice. The dice seem to be a popular sell, and you can see it's mostly parts on here, not complete games. So we're going to learn a lot by looking at sold. So less than 10% sell through. So I don't have this piece, trolley car. And some of these may have been rare. I don't know. Cowboy hat, the glove, and the dice for 16. Individual tokens, the cowboy hat for 10. But the sell-through is real bad. Why is the cowboy hat going for so much? Alright, based on the cowboy hat selling, I'm going to do these 2 and the dice as a listing for $8. And that'll cover the game. But I basically lost on the game. The tokens, nobody's buying. It doesn't appear. That was the only token listing we had. And the money, I don't have enough of it to do a proper lot. So I'm going to add that to my big bag of Monopoly money. And random tokens. I'll check my random tokens here that don't go to anything. And I don't have any to fill this out at the moment. And my money is... This is homeless Monopoly money. So I had another set that was the same. So I have way too many large bills. And they're the wrong color to mix into other sets. Yeah, that was from a game that only had 50s, 100s, and 500s. This one at least had 20s. So then I have like the different colored 500s, the older 50s, and the really old 50s. That's the 3 colors across decades. It used to be like more green, then it became blue, now it's purple. Some 100s, some 500s. This is the older stuff too. And then stuff with writing on it, stuff without writing on it. And this is just if I get a set and it's too light, I weigh it and it needs to be 3 ounces because all Monopolies have 3 ounces worth of money. So I will add to the stack until it gets there. Add a few bills. I don't want anybody to be unhappy with it. And if sometimes people mix games and I can't get like quite a set out of it, I take some of that money back, and that's where the older ones came from. But if you had more space, you could do more like this. Down the road, maybe. Talk about retiring and doing this full time. Maybe I will start having more parts around and build more games, sell more complete vintage games. But for now, let's put these tokens in the trash. And that's going to be my listing. And I think that'll move based on the cowboy hat. And that'll get us to break even. And then we're going to get to our hopefully new in box vintage or independent game. I haven't done one of these in quite a while. So when we look for board games for reselling, the three things we're looking for: games that are valuable, games that are playable, and parts for the other two. We do a lot of parts on here, but we don't do a lot of games that have value and are replayable. So that generally falls to vintage stuff for value, and then also indie run games. Things like Kickstarter, Patreon, etc. really changed how manufacturing works for games. So there'll be small run games, and there are companies like Asmodee that will run games for people if they get the capital to do it. They come out, small supply, demand is whatever, but then they're never produced again. So it creates the possibility for a higher demand than your supply. So how you tell if something is indie, basically right off the cuff, is the box has a different color to it. And I'll grab Monopoly just to kind of show, if I can, the difference. It doesn't really come out too well, but basically this is matte and this is shiny. And texturally, a lot of times it will be almost like a corduroy texture to an independent box. I don't know why, but that's just how it's always been. A lot of times there'll be somebody's name on it because it's being pushed through a Patreon or through some kind of like, social media campaign. So somebody's name will be on the front. And then the brand, Underdog Games. That is a smaller game company. Asmodee, like I said, is another one that does these limited run games. They're not all valuable. But when I see them, if the price point makes sense, I paid $3 for this, I will pick it up. And I will painstakingly remove tape and keep it in the best shape possible. Now, about half the time I do this, the game ends up being brand new. And I think part of that is that Kickstarter thing. People want to be a part of things. They want to feel like they did something. So they do the Kickstarter, make somebody's dream come true of putting out a game. And then Kickstarter takes a long time. Then 2 years later, you get your game that you already bought in the mail. And you don't have anybody to play with. You had an idea, you were going to support it, but really at the end of the day, you either really don't like board games, don't have anybody playing with, it takes up space, you end up moving, needing extra room, and it goes to the thrift shop. Completely never been used before. That's no exaggeration, half the time that's the case. So we got all our tape off. This is actually from last year. I don't know why it ended up at the store, and that kind of makes me think it's going to be exactly what I said. The box is in very good shape. Yeah. Instructions, Trekking the World. You have a game board, and just as I said, these cards are all still wrapped in the original wrapper. Somebody bought this or bid on it and never ever even played it. It still has the silica pack in it. So I can sell this for new if everything is here. If they got this far, I would be surprised. This is these sliders. We gotta go through Underdog Games. I'm not really familiar with these. I'm sure I've sold something from them in the past. Okay, so trekking is their thing. Scavenger hunt. Dope. So we're gonna have to go through and see if we have all the parts, which chances are we will. All right, components, game board, tour and counter cards, which are wrapped up. Quick guide cards, probably wrapped up. Itinerary cards. Trekker meeples. That's going to be 5 of these. Yep. Oh, there we go. Scoreboard on the bottom. Oh. I think we're good. Let's make sure nothing sticks out as being clearly missing. Suitcases, money trackers, solo cards. I'm going to have to go through it before I list it, but 99% sure this is all here. I don't like there's a lot of negative space here though. So if I'm missing an entire pack of cards, that'll be a kick in the face. You know, it is possible somebody pulled the cards out and had the intention of playing, never did, put it all away, but left those cards out. So we're just gonna go on the assumption it's good, just to look at pricing, get an idea what we can do with this, and then I'll make absolutely sure before I list it that we're all there. If not, it's gonna be for parts. So we have Trekking the World board game. 131, and there's a few different versions. We have second edition. And you can see pricing on this with shipping is around $40. And 54 sold, so it's almost a 50% sell through. And I could say it's unsealed, unsealed but new, basically. So I might be able to do 35 or like 22 plus shipping. So that's what it's looking like I'm going to do. Or even 25 in shipping. And then the overage on shipping will pay for the eBay fee. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to look at it real quick and make sure. If not, we're going to have to figure out parts. All right, so went through it and it's all here. So I did 22 plus shipping. Shipping, when you do board games, can get out of hand depending on dimensions. This is going to be 5 pounds to ship. It is a heavy game because the game board's really big. So 22 plus shipping means somebody is going to get a deal if they're local. They're going to get it for $33 when this was averaging 40. If you're out in California, it's going to be like 22 for shipping. You're probably going to pass on it and get it from somebody else. But it keeps me competitive, and it's definitely going to be worth adding to the collection, hopefully for the short term. So I think I said 25 initially, but the shipping was really high, so I went with that, and that's fine. I mean, for the parts and then something to add to the shelf for a bit, I'm okay for that price point. So if you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.